Hello, Osseo first grade teachers. My name is Peter Brenner with Amplify, and our time is short here today, and we have a lot to cover. So I'm going to get right to the point. My goal here today is to provide an introduction to Amplify Science, including information about the standards you'll see covered and the support you will receive when you choose to pilot Amplify Science next school year. First, what is Amplify Science? Amplify Science is the fastest growing kindergarten through fifth grade core science resource in the country. We partner with districts to deliver an engaging, rigorous, and three-dimensional learning experience. Districts tend to adopt Amplify Science when they are in need of an easy-to-use and easy-to-manage science resource. It's critical that their science resource utilizes a phenomena-based approach and incorporates three-dimensional learning at every level. They understand that not every student learns the same way, nor does every student learn something the first time that they are exposed to it. Therefore, they recognize the need for a resource that utilizes a multimodal approach to instruction that engages and reaches all students. And finally, they are looking for a science resource that supports their literacy instruction throughout the district. In the next video segment, Tom Gantt, a former science teacher, will provide an overview of our Plant and Animal Defenses unit, where your students will take on the role of marine scientists. Two of the life science standards that this unit covers include 1.1.1, ask questions based on observations about the similarities and differences between young plants and animals and their parents. And then 3.1.1.1, develop a simple model based on evidence to represent how plants and animals use their external parts to help them survive, grow, and meet their needs. I'm going to let Tom go into more detail about the unit, but I did want to close with our awesome support for your pilot efforts. When you pilot a unit of Amplify Science, we provide you with the following customized training plan. First, we start with an initial training where we will spend 1 to 1.5 hours to review the planning resources for the pilot unit. Then we'll follow that up with a pre-instruction training. This will occur prior to the first day of instruction. It will be a 45-minute session per grade level to review any topics based upon teacher feedback. Then, after about 5 to 7 days of instruction, we'll schedule another 45 minutes per grade level to cover any topics that pilot teachers wish, as well as a review of the assessment capabilities of Amplify Science. Then, after about 12 to 14 days of instruction, another 45-minute session per grade level, customized to the teacher's needs based on where they are in the unit. And based on that, we will also review the upcoming activities within the unit. And then finally, we'll finish up with the last training, 1 or 2 lessons prior to the end of the unit. And we will review the teacher's experience and answer any outstanding questions that teachers have. We appreciate the time you are taking to explore Amplify Science. I hope you find the remainder of this video productive, and we look forward to seeing you at the initial training for Amplify Science. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. And Tom here. I'm here to get started going deeper into our curriculum. So let's talk about phenomenon. And phenomenon is really anything that causes that natural curiosity in our students to be developed and fostered. And phenomenon is a big driver in science education. And so if we think about topics that have been taught traditionally, sound waves, sea turtles, energy conversions, we want to integrate a three-dimensional approach to this topic and make it a phenomenon, such as dolphins communicating underwater, or a town having severe blackouts. And it kind of takes away that question that many students have is, why am I learning this? It becomes more meaningful and relevant to our students. And I like to say it provides that hook. Our phenomenal hooks are challenging. They get to be role playing. They have a storyline that's very high interest. And so with every unit with Amplify Science, students are going to go on a problem-based deep dive where they get to be a STEM scientist, an engineer or scientist of some kind, as they solve a phenomenal real-world problem. This engaging storyline is really going to hook our students, and it also keeps them engaged as scientists and engineers every day in the classroom. Our example from first grade, students get to be aquarium scientists as they're going to work to solve this problem where a sea turtle is going to be released into the ocean, and they're going to worry about whether that sea turtle can survive in a place that has sharks that could eat her. So why choose Amplify Science? Well, we are that phenomena-based approach where students engage using 21st century tools and resources the way scientists really work today. We're also designed for the standards, and I'll go deeper into that instead of being retrofitted. And our teacher planning and assessment tools are built right in to our lessons to make it really easy. And I call it a 3-step prep to get started. And then finally, reading and literacy support is so important. So you'll find great support for emerging readers within our program. So I mentioned how we're designed for the new standards and not retrofitted. The Lawrence Hall of Science, LHS for short, known for creating high quality instructional materials for over the last 50 years, realized that when the new standards were developed, they needed a new approach, and then Amplify was born. And we weave this approach, this 3-dimensional integration, through every chapter, unit, and every individual lesson. And I'll show you what I mean. If I take those disciplinary core ideas, the earth, life, and physical science, and then I blend in those 8 action items of science and engineering practices. And then we have these cross-cutting concepts, things such as patterns, cause and effect, that relate to whatever core idea we're teaching. Amplify will pull all 3 parts together so a teacher doesn't have to with their phenomenal storylines. And so what you're seeing here is an example of a 3-dimensional statement from the teacher guide. And you can see it's color-coded by practices, core ideas, and cross-cutting concepts. So in this unit, students investigate how animals and plants, as well as their offspring, use their structure to meet their needs for survival. And you can see how they're going to do that. And they apply this to how an aquarium animal uses their defenses to survive, and that's our sea turtle. Now, at the lesson level, it becomes very specific. In this case, students are going to create physical models. And a lot of teachers will turn this into a powerful I can objective that is color-coded and shows exactly how 3 parts of the standards are being brought together. Now let's talk about the exceptional program components. And to help with that is my alter ego, Teacher Tom.
Hello, Osseo first grade teachers. I am Tom the teacher, and I am super excited to show you all the amazing teacher tools and student resources that you'll be using to teach Amplify Science. This program makes teaching science very easy and practical for you, and it makes learning science and engaging fun for your students. With Amplify, your students will be going on a problem-based deep dive with each of the units and answering relevant questions to real-world phenomenal problems. Over the course of these 3 units, students will explore phenomena as marine scientists, light and sound engineers, and sky scientists. Planning is simple. Each unit has 22 lessons, so you'll have a total of 66 lessons to teach for the academic year. Now let's take a look at the teacher instructional materials that bring these amazing units to life. As an example, I will be using the unit Animal and Plant Defenses, where students explore survival in a unique way. But know that all the units have similar design and resources. The design of the Amplify units is clear and easy to understand. The unit has several chapters, each chapter has lessons, and every lesson has a series of activities. As you see here, this lesson has 3 activities, starting with a whole group reading, a hands-on investigation, and culminating in a teacher-led discussion. You are going to love all the great Amplify teacher materials. You can plan your way with either the print or digital teacher's guide. I like using both. And making my science wall is easy with the great print resources, such as the unit and chapter questions and all the vocabulary cards. The materials are printed on heavy cardstock, and they are available in both Spanish and English. Talk about easy! Amplify provides teachers a quick prep time with classroom slides, engaging high-level PowerPoints for every single lesson that you can download and be ready to teach within minutes. The slides include visual cues, embedded images, videos, and so much more. As you see here, The notes of the slide include teacher actions, supporting dialogue, and even formative assessments. Speaking of assessments, Amplify provides a range of formative assessment types from pre-unit, chapter critical junctures, and on-the-fly quick checks. A great tool for first grade teachers is the Clipboard Assessment Tool, which is a talk-based check for the little ones who are still learning to write but can verbally demonstrate their understanding. Each unit ends in a performance task and a summative assessment. All these resources make teaching in a 5E fashion super easy. The units and lessons are crafted to engage students right away with a video or an activity. It's all built around the phenomenal real-world problem. Students will then explore, explain, and elaborate to construct deeper meaning and understanding until they are able to be evaluated for true depth of knowledge, and with an application of what they've learned to a new scenario. Now, let's look at the student materials that make learning fun. Students will be writing and drawing in their very own investigation notebook, just like real scientists do. They will also be engaged in literacy strategies as they explore 5 to 6 unique titles with every unit. Teachers get these same titles as mega large flipbooks, so first grade teachers can read to their students on their carpets. And finally, students will love investigating with all the great hands-on materials that are included. Each of these components will serve a purpose to blend the science standards with high-quality teaching methods. Amplify Science will have students exploring hands-on activities from 30 to 40% of the time, so they can use these experiences to construct deeper meaning and ideas to solve the questions around the phenomenal storylines. All these great materials come in easy-to-use bins, so you will be using the resources that you see here. Some units come with the main materials bin, but also include extra boxes that contain any additional resources that you will need. This will save teachers time and money. Amplify kits are very generous and supply enough hands-on and print materials for a class of 36 students. But unlike other companies that supply limited materials where teachers end up with large student groups of 8 or 9, Amplify gives enough material for group sizes of 2 to 4 students, making their hands-on experiences that much more impactful. This also means enough materials for 72 uses and over 2 or more years worth of supplies. With all these great resources, you can watch your students have fun and show how they can inquire, model, quantify, read, talk, write, critique, and argue like real scientists.
There are additional resources that Teacher Tom didn't get to highlight that have been added since last March when the pandemic started. These remote and hybrid learning supports, I think, are going to be very great moving forward out of a pandemic as well, because they provide resources for students online as well as offline and allow teachers to have some additional tools in their tool belt to teach Amplify Science. One of the most exciting are our at-home videos. Our at-home videos are actually taught by experienced Amplify Science teachers. They're delivering the lesson remotely, doing screen capture, using all of our great teacher tools, our videos, our hands-on, in case they're doing modeling, as well as our PowerPoints or Google Slides. You can see how you can flip your classroom and send those videos directly home to students. Maybe have the guest teacher just teach one activity from the lesson. It's great for absent students, modeling how to deliver a lesson, as well as substitutes. Our at-home units are packet-based. These are for more traditional situations where a student might not have access to a device, a digital device that's functioning. And so you can print out a whole unit level of work for students to work on to still cover and address the science standards and needs, or you can do individual units as well. This is great for modifications that need to be made in the classroom. In addition, we do have all these great hands-on material kits, but what if students aren't in school? If they're learning remotely, or maybe they're sick. And so with this, we have created hands-on investigation videos of all the hands-on experiments captured by students doing them, so students can watch and see how students are collecting evidence and still be able to feel like they're participating. Moving out of the pandemic, I think these are great just to see, so students can see how other students might do an investigation and model their behaviors after that. In addition, we have what's called read aloud videos. So these are actual teachers reading to, I like to say read to videos, teachers reading our text captured in a YouTube playlist. So it's very accessible for students. Even if a device breaks, they might have a smartphone in their house, and it's an experienced teacher reading the text, flipping through it. Everything is located in our redesigned program hub, which has the remote and hybrid learning resources, as well as professional learning resources and additional unit materials for that STEM enrichment. I'm now going to actually take you to that program hub to show you where that's located. Here I am in my demo account, and in your demo account, you can follow along just like I'm doing. Go to the upper land. I call these 3 stacks or my little hamburger. I'm going to click on that, and that's going to open up, and I need to scroll all the way down. Now, I have other curriculum loaded that Amplify does sell, like ELA and math, but I want to scroll all the way down past our science apps until you get to what's called additional resources. And under additional resources, here is that program hub. When you click on that, it will open a new tab, and I definitely explore those remote and hybrid learning resources that we have available. And also, I think it's worthwhile checking out the science program guide. The science program guide goes deep into every aspect of our program beyond everything that you're going to get in a short video. So if you're really interested in specific assets in the program, check out the science program guide as well. You're going to find access to books in multiple formats. To begin with, we have print books that will be coming out of your materials kits. And so those are just great to have in student hands. Also, remember, teachers will have that big mega flip book of each of the titles as well. Students have access in their digital accounts to student-directed read-alouds, where they're in control of pressing play, pause, and other features and interacting with the text. In addition, you have those video read-alouds from an experienced teacher reading through the text and flipping through it. And then also, anytime there's a literacy component in a lesson, we include the pages, the images from the text right in the classroom slides, so a teacher has everything right at their fingertips. Another component of the program is to tap into students' natural understanding of things that they've experienced. And so we create at the beginning of a unit what we think we know in our experience anchor charts. These anchor charts are then revisited at the beginning of each new chapter, and students are going to reflect upon the things that they've learned, propose new solutions and answers, or make additional predictions. And at the end of each chapter, they're going to come back to this focal point in the classroom and engage in discussions and start talking about what was accurate and things that might have been inaccurate, and really drill down on the key things that are important as they have learned across the course of a unit. Now let's review the Amplify Science learning approach, where students figure out, not just learn about science. And so we start the unit with introducing a real-world problem, and then we're going to have students collect evidence from multiple sources until they can really assemble that evidence to construct a more complex explanation, and we call this scaffolded learning. The scaffolded learning process is all built around also what has been deemed as a progress build. I like to say it's an access point for all learners. So starting the unit, in this case, level 1, animals and plants really avoid being eaten. That is a key aspect of what they must do, right, to survive. Then students are going to apply that, of course, to their sea turtle. And then by level 2, they start learning about these structures that plants and animals have to defend themselves and camouflage and have shells and things that protect them. And then by level 3, they realize that animals and plants' offspring have similar features, maybe not identical to their parents, but similar things to help protect them as well. The way in which knowledge is acquired is called do, talk, read, write, visualize. This is a research-based approach that has proven highly effective in learning science. And so do means hands-on. Students are going to have hands-on investigations or experiments, and then we're going to have them talk. Now, we provide over 8 different discourse routines to have them talk science, things such as think, pair, share, word circles, and sentence frames. In addition, students are going to then read to get that secondhand information from the text. So first-hand information comes from doing, second-hand information comes from the text, and then they're going to write and show their findings in their investigation notebooks. And also, students are going to visualize with multimedia and the interactive modeling tools as well that allow them to have a comprehensive, deeper understanding. And do, talk, read, write, visualize goes deeper into that 5E framework and hits different modalities and learning styles. In addition, at the end of a unit, students tackle a new problem. So let's say we figure out this anchoring phenomenon and we understand how spruce, the sea turtle, can now survive with sharks around. Their students are going to extend their thinking in what we call an application phenomena towards the end of the unit. And here they're going to take on 2 challenges. First, they have to show a model that shows the best way that animals in the aquarium can survive from being eaten by wildlife, and then also making a model of sea creatures' defenses against being eaten. So they're going to build their own physical models as well. So with Amplify Science, students really figure out, not learn about. Now I'm going to dive into the planning process, the quick, what I call a 3-step prep. Number 1, you're going to visit the lesson brief. 2, you're going to get any necessary materials from your kit. And number 3, you're going to download your classroom slides or the Google Slides version. Now let me jump over and show you what this looks like. So here I am in my digital demo account as a teacher. I'm going to log into animal and plant defenses, and let's jump into chapter 1 and let's go into lesson 1.2. So what you see here is what we call our lesson brief. In the lesson brief, this particular lesson has 3 activities: reading about tortoise parts, doing a hands-on observation, and then a teacher-led discussion about different structures. Every lesson brief has an overview, materials and preparation, differentiation, standards, and vocabulary. So I'm going to scroll down to my materials, and these are things I need for my vocabulary from the kit for the wall. Here's a couple of things I'm going to bring in for students to look at and to talk about for the hands-on investigation. Then I'm going to look at differentiation. We provide unique differentiation briefs for every lesson for all levels of learners. So here we have support for diverse learners. And you can see also there are any potential challenges in this lesson. We have specific strategies for English learners. Keep going down, students who need more support in general, and those who need more challenge. For your honor students, we do provide support from the lowest to the highest of all students in your classroom. So let's say I've now scanned over my overview, my lesson brief. I've got my hands-on materials out of my kit. And then step 3, I come over and download my classroom slides or go right into my PowerPoint. And I'm ready to teach. Not only do we support teachers, but we also want to support all stakeholders who are involved in students' education with Amplify Science. So we have a dedicated caregiver website and support line, which even includes those questions for at-home discussions. Sometimes students, a parent asks, what'd you learn in science today? They're going to be like, oh, I don't know. But if you have some guiding questions that you can download right here and have some really great conversations with students, this is great for parents. Also, we have a separate 800 number and email that is open even on weekends. So you can direct parents to get the support that they need on their end from Amplify directly from us, and they don't have to bother you as a teacher. Also, speaking of teachers, we want to make sure you're very successful in implementing this program, and we provide in-person workshops. Obviously, during the pandemic, that has shifted to our virtual team. Our professional learning is amazing. We want to make sure that we don't just give you the keys to a car to drive it. We want to teach you how to drive it. And so we provide online supports. We have a live chat button, and we can customize our professional development to fit the needs of every district. So why choose Amplify Science? Well, we are that phenomena-based approach using 21st century tools and resources designed for standards in a way that makes it easy to teach and plan and very effective. And also we integrate reading and literacy into our science program in a way that will benefit those test scores. We've had districts who the only thing they've changed was adding our science program. And not only did their science scores improve, but so did their reading and writing scores. So thank you again for watching this video, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.